keep you, allow you to be able to check emails, allow you to be able to make phone calls. Of course, there's an app store, and you have the ability to be able to check all of, log into those apps, and some of those apps are health related, but that's not Apple's primary focus. Their primary focus is to keep you connected, okay? The number 2 category is fitness bands. And fitness bands are quite popular, right? So I'll give you just a couple of examples. So you have obviously Hilo, Fitbit, which is quite popular, very well known. You have things like the Samsung Gear, which is another one that's quite popular that's out there. You have some ones like the Garmin, which is another one that's out there. To give you an example of how popular these are, Fitbit sold 20 million devices last year. They're worth $7 billion. That's twice as many devices as the Apple Watch sold last year. Okay, and then you have the third category, which is mobile health. And mobile health, there are some figures, according to Forbes magazine, is projected to grow from anywhere from $35 billion to $59 billion in the next 3 years, okay? Within the next 7 years, projected to grow by $600+ billion. Now let's put that into perspective. The entire music industry is only $12 billion, the entire music industry. So what do I mean by mobile health? So mobile health it's really taking the fitness bands to the next level. Fitness bands track your steps, your calories, your sleeps, things like that. But mobile health is providing you with important data that's going on internally in your body that gives you the ability to be able to make better choices and to circumvent any possible life-threatening diseases that may come your way. And, the mobile health category, the best way that I describe it is it's a lot like having a dashboard in your vehicle, and if the check engine light comes on, or if the emergency light comes on telling you that you have a low tire or that there's a problem with your engine, you know that there's a problem, and it's obviously directing you to go get things checked out before it's too late. This device has made a huge difference in the lives of people all over the world. I've been in this industry or in this particular business model now and World Global for just about a year. And I've literally had people in my organization that opened up their package, put the device on their wrist, immediately noticed that they were having problems, that they had high blood pressure. So then they ran an EKG and it came back abnormal. And they thought that it was inaccurate, put it back into the box, let it sit there for a couple of days. His spouse ended up taking the device and saying, well, I'm going to try it. So she put it on and it was accurate for her. So then they thought, well, maybe let's go down and let's compare it. So they went down to a local CVS, put their arms in a cuff, and lo and behold, his blood pressure was extremely high. So he went to the doctor the next day, was in open heart surgery within 24 hours with 2 blocked arteries. That's the kind of power that the Hilo has. I have doctors, a friend of mine, a doctor who wrote a testimonial that some of you may have read. It's available and we can share this with you. And he actually, in the morning, was having some discomfort, and his blood pressure and even his resting heart rate was extremely high, ran an EKG. It came back abnormal. He ignored it, continued to ignore it to the point where 2 o'clock he was having severe chest pains. Called his wife, called the ambulance, and by the time that he arrived at the hospital, he flatlined. They were able to revive him, and several days later, fortunately, because of technology and medical advancement, he was already home. And he wrote this testimonial saying, those of you, and he says, I'm sharing this with you. Everyone needs to own their own life-saving device. He said, I should have listened to my Hilo when I first saw the warning signs early that morning. And he says, I'm not sharing this because I want to make money. I'm sharing this with you because I genuinely believe that everyone needs to own their own life-saving device. It's a very powerful testimonial. We have that written up, and we can share that with the organization. So just knowing, first of all, what category that you fall in, this is really where the future is going. Imagine having a device that literally gives you the capability of being able to monitor just your blood pressure transdermally through the skin as a big breakthrough, being able to run an EKG, being able to remotely monitor people that you love and care about. Very soon, many of you probably saw at the CES event just a week or 2 weeks ago, we introduced what's called the Extends, which is a device that it works off of the Hilo that now allows you to transdermally through the skin monitor your blood sugar trends, which is a huge deal. 1 in 10 people in the world today are diabetic. They're still pricking their finger 3 or 4 times a day. There are no other devices in the world that allow you to be able to detect what your blood sugar trends are until now. So these are the kind of things that we're doing, and this is just the beginning. There is so much more that's coming down the pipeline. One of the unique things about our device also is the fact that it has an open API. So what does that mean? So Apple 10 years ago opened up their API, and they invited app developers around the world to come in and piggyback on this new technology that was developed. And as a result of that, at the time when they opened up their app store, they only had a couple hundred apps in the store. Today, there's over 1.2 million. And so what did that do? It now allows you to be able to, pretty much do anything that you want, including make movies and anything that you want to do from your phone. And the reason why these app developers did that is because they had a tremendous audience within the Apple community to be able to develop these products and ultimately promote these products to their audience. Well, we do too. We're open and drop shipping to 195 countries around the world. And so we have now opened up our API, and we now have outside app developers that are coming in for the first time and looking at this life sensing technology that we have and saying, we could do all kinds of cool things with this. And so there's all kinds of apps that are currently in development. And what's neat about that is we actually have our own app store. And so over the course of the next 12, 24 months, you'll continue to see new apps that flood into our app store, things that are being worked on currently that I've heard about, things like water hydration, things like being able to track your ovulation, being able to alcohol. Alcohol is very exciting. Being able to track your blood alcohol levels, and knowing that if you've drank too much, you get a warning and a notification, and you can get your true blood alcohol level right there on the spot. The sky's the limit with this technology, and that's what's so fun about it. Is it's not what will the Helo do? It's what won't it do? As we continue to move forward, it's only going to increase in value because of the continued apps that are coming available. Imagine apps that sync with the technology that we have, and then let's say that it registers that you have high blood pressure, and so then it recommends to you, William, here's a heart health product that we would recommend, and being able right there to click a button and have that heart health product sent directly to you, and of course being able to leverage your entire network and organization. And as these products are purchased, as these apps are purchased, and as new fitness devices are purchased as well in your organization, being able to leverage that and be able to create an income for yourself and for your family. So hopefully that just kind of gives you an overview of where we fall into the equation. And the fact, I've learned long ago, if you want to make a lot of money, figure out where people are going and try to get there faster. Another solution another wealth principle is to identify a problem and come up with a solution. Well, what we've been able to do is we've been able to provide fantastic data to people where they literally now can get this data that's going on to their body and walk into the doctor's office and say, here's what's going on with me. Imagine being able to go to your fitness trainer and saying, here you go, here's exactly what's happening right now. So that's where it's at, and I want you to know that this technology is just at the very beginning. And what excites me is, yes, what it does today, but more so what it's going to do and continue to evolve into as we move forward over the next few years. And that's what excites me the most. So let me see, a couple more came on here. So best way to put international prospects through the process. Okay, I know this MLM isn't going to waste my time, but technology is my thing. Okay, so those are things. So MLM wasting your time. All right, that's a good one. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So let's talk about, let's kind of dive into that one next, because I think that's a good topic, and then we'll get into, so how do I know this MLM isn't going to waste my time? Well, it really comes down to the time that you put into it. At the end of the day, I don't know what is important to you or the things that would make you say, this is worth my time. In my personal situation, let me just tell you my experience with network marketing. So most people, first of all, don't understand MLM. It's the most misunderstood MLM in the world. I was on a 3-way call with someone on this group. I think it was Ryan the other day, and I was on the phone with somebody who was extremely skeptical because it was network marketing. And I says, well, tell me your experience. What's your experience been? And what was funny is that most people, when you really explore why they have that perception of network marketing, they really don't know. They don't know what it is, or maybe they dabbled with one years ago and it didn't necessarily work for them. But in most cases, they didn't really put a lot of time or effort into it. And it's just like anything else. You get what you put into it. The difference here is MLM, just so that you guys have some statistics, it's a $186 billion a year industry. So again, to put that into perspective, the entire NFL is a $4.5 billion a year industry. So it's the fastest growing industry fastest growing industry in the business world today. It now creates more millionaires than any other industry in the entire world. And not only that, you have 112 million people involved globally around the world, and it now pays out over $200 million per day to people just like you and I for simply sharing products that we consume and we enjoy. And the truth is we do it anyways. When's the last time you went to a movie and you enjoyed the movie and said, man, you guys have got to go see The Greatest Salesman. It's the Greatest Showman. It's the best movie that I've seen probably in the last 10 years. I can tell you I've probably shared that to 30 people, but I didn't make any money from referring people to that product. I go to a dinner that I enjoy. I love this particular steakhouse in Scottsdale. I probably told everybody about their butter cake because it's the best butter cake in the entire world. And you know what? I don't get paid by that restaurant to refer people. So you're doing it anyways. The only difference is that you get paid to refer products that you believe in to people that you love and care about. That's the only difference. So you just have to take that into perspective. And for me, what I love about network marketing is that there's nobody that's determining what your worth is, right? In a traditional job, there's somebody that's saying you're worth 30,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 or 150,000 or 200,000. And everybody has, wherever their different levels of income, but there's still somebody that's determining what your worth is. There's somebody that's determining when you get to go to work and when you come home, and essentially when you get to spend time with your family, how much time you spend with your family. Ultimately, when you get to go on vacation every year. In network marketing, there's nobody telling you what you're worth. You determine your worth based on how much you want to contribute to your business. Now, what I always tell people is it's not about the money. Yes, of course, we're here because we want to make money, but I will tell you that it's more about who you become in the process and who you help along the way. Money is a byproduct of those things. And for me, I can't think of a better business model than a pay it forward model where I can't be successful unless I help William's family be successful. If I help Chris's family be successful, the more people that I help, the more successful that I am. And it just goes back to Zig Ziglar's philosophy. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything that you want in life. It's also now the most effective way to deliver a product or service to market. And what do I mean by that? So let me give you an example. So when you have a product like the Hilo that evokes a positive emotional experience to the point where when someone watches a simple 2-minute video and immediately they start thinking about people that they love and care about that need this product. So I would imagine that most of you probably had this experience where when you watched this, you thought, oh, my mom needs this, or my dad needs this, or my brother needs this, or my best friend needs this as a diabetic, or whatever the case might be. It just makes sense to put the money back into the hands of the people that are wearing it and sharing it. Also, to put it into perspective, your Fitbit doesn't pay you to put it on your wrist. Your Apple Watch doesn't pay you to put it on your wrist. Fitbit, or Hilo is the only device in the world that pays you to wear it and share it. And in my personal situation, I was a traditional business owner for 10 years. And you know what? Even as a business owner, I was still trading the most valuable commodity that I had, which was my time, $4. What I mean by that is even though I owned my own business, I worked 70 to 80 hours a week. I was a slave to my business. I was a slave to the fact that I had to meet payroll every 2 weeks. Never had any time. I had 3 young children at that time. In 2005, I was approached I owned a lead generation company that produced leads for the mortgage industry. I had some guys that walked in my office and asked me if I could produce a network marketing lead. Now, up to that point, I want to tell everybody that as an entrepreneur, probably for 5 years, I was approached about different network marketing opportunities, probably 100 times. And I was like, I'm not doing network marketing. I own a real business. I didn't even, I turned my nose up to it because why? Because of the stigma. And I don't even know why I felt that way. It was just, I'm not doing network marketing. But then when these guys came in and they said, hey, listen, can you produce a network marketing lead for me? And I said, well, let's try. So we put a team together and started producing network marketing leads. And from that, I started to meet all of these people in this industry that had this incredible residual income lifestyle. Residual income is the key to getting back your time and being able to do the things that you want to do rather than what you have to do. Why? Because whether you go to work or not, you continue to get paid. And so when I started to see some of the income levels that these people had and the quality of life that they had, I started to get a little bit more curious about it. And when I was invited to participate in the launch of a company in October of 2005, I finally said, yes, I'll give it a shot. And I'll tell you guys, the first probably year, I was a secret agent network marketer. So what do I mean by that? I was in network marketing. I just didn't want anybody to know. I was embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to know that I was in network marketing. I don't know why. It was just, I didn't want anybody to know. Now, one thing about it was I did believe in the product. And so for me, all I did is, in many cases, I would just share that product with others when I knew that it would solve a problem. So in this case, if they were looking to lose weight, if they were looking to improve their health, if they were looking to improve their longevity, if they were looking for certain solutions, I would just share the product with them. What happened for me was, after dabbling for about a year, we created a little bit of income that first year. I probably made maybe $15,000, $20,000 that year, but it was an extra $15,000, $20,000. And here's what I will tell you is that an extra $15,000 to $20,000 for most households would make a tremendous difference. It actually would cut the divorce rate in half. What's the number one reason that people get a divorce? It's because of finances, right? They get stressed about finances. So knowing that if I were to put an extra $15,000 to $20,000 in most households, it can mean the difference between getting a little bit out of debt, just relieving a little bit of pressure, putting a kid through college, being able to afford to make a house payment or a car payment, those type of things. I love that. So not everybody here is going to get wealthy, and that's okay, because not everybody here is looking to get to the top level. I'm here because I'm not here to make $15,000 to $20,000 a year. I'm here to go make 7 figures beyond every single year in this business. But not everybody has that goal. Some people just want to play around with it and start and just make a little bit of extra income. That's where I started. I kind of joke now when I say that first year that the extra money that we made was my wife's shoe money. It was just extra shopping money for us. But here's what happened. My second year, we had an experience where, even though I wasn't necessarily aggressively building the business, there were people in my organization that got excited about it, and they started going out and building it. And we got our monthly residual check from that company, and my wife came into the office and handed me that check and says, "Look at this." And I remember looking at it and thinking, how is this even possible? And the reality was, I was stressed out, trying to figure out how I was going to meet a payroll for all kinds of employees. And over here, I have a check that keeps showing up every month that's growing, and I wasn't paying these people to do anything. In fact, it was a volunteer army. They were all focused on going and building their families' futures, but in the process of doing that, they were building my future at the same time. And so I started to think, well, wait a second, I see the concept of leverage over here. So I started to pay a little bit more attention to it. And you know what? I also started to realize that you can't pay your bills with other people's opinions. So I started I stopped worrying so much about what other people thought of me, and I started focusing more on just serving and helping others. And what ended up happening was my business started to grow. 2008, the mortgage industry crashed, and we lost everything. My business relied primarily on mortgage leads. I lost my home. I lost my cars. We lost, real estate. We lost everything. One of the most humbling experiences of my life. I share that with you because sometimes you go through challenges in life to push you down a different path to exactly where you're supposed to be. Because of that experience, we decided the only money we had coming in was this little side business that we had started a few years prior. So we decided to start giving it our all. We went all in. We burned the bridges of retreat. Within a year, I replaced a high 6-figure income that we had in traditional business. But the difference was I had no employees. I had no overhead. I was working from home. Now I was walking my kids to the bus stop in the morning, home when they got home from school. And literally the last 10 years, I have now been in an environment where I own my own lifestyle. We have traveled the world. We've used this business as a platform to educate our children about dreaming big and thinking big, not settling in life, going after their dreams. My 12-year-old spoke on stage at an event for about what it's been like to have his mom and dad at home every single day. My children, to this day, my daughter came home the other day and said, sometimes when I go to my friend's house, I forget that other people's parents have to work because you guys are just home all the time. So for me, when you say, how do I know it's not going to waste my time? I can't answer that question. You have to ask yourself, what's your why? Like, what would make it worth it to you? For me, I can tell you that it's been priceless. The time that I have to be able to spend with my family, creating amazing life experiences with the people that I love and care about most, and not necessarily having to go to work if I don't want to me, I guess I would ask you, what's that worth to all of you? And that's really what it's worth to me. So that's my story. And let's get in a little bit to how we build the business and some of the things that I've learned along the way that hopefully will help you to avoid some of the pitfalls and trial and errors that most people go through in this industry. So first of all, We touched a little bit on fear, William. I think at the end of the day, fear, it just comes down to, for me, I had to really look at this and say, okay, what's worse? What am I more afraid of? Am I more afraid of what people think, right? What people think of me is a lot of times what most people are afraid of. Or am I afraid of failing, right? A lot of people stay away from doing this largely because they just think, I don't know if I could be successful in this environment. And my hope is by the time that I'm done today, every single one of you will at least say to yourselves, I could do that. Now, whether you choose to do it, it's up to you. You know, at the end of the day, that comes back to self-discipline and whether or not your why is important enough to you to take action. But my goal today is to make you go, yeah, I could absolutely do that. And so, William, for me, you know, when I started thinking about what people think are failing, the bigger fear for me was, what if I didn't take action? Right? What if I didn't do anything at all? What if in 20 years I literally was still working for somebody else, building somebody else's future at the expense of my own? What if in 20 years I didn't achieve my goals and dreams? And so for me, I guess I got real specific on what I wanted, what was important to me in life. And those things for me were time. You know, I wanted to own my own time. I don't want to have to work for somebody else. And again, I don't have a problem with jobs. If somebody wants to, you know, they love their job, that's awesome. For me, I wanted to own my own time. And so for me, William, I think it just comes down to, at a certain point, you've got to recognize what are you afraid of more? Not taking action and not accomplishing your goals and dreams, or what people think of you or possibly failing. And so once you start to realize that, you know, fear is really, you can't have fear and faith at the same time. They can't coexist. You can't have a fear and faith at the same time. So for me, I replaced fear with faith, and I started to faith it until you make it. And in the beginning, this business requires faith because you haven't had success yet. You're not making any money yet. And so you have to have the faith that you're going to be successful. So where does that faith come from? Well, you know, faith, you know, let's look at it in the terms of religion. And it doesn't matter if you're religious or not. You know, your faith typically comes from what? Doing things like learning and studying and maybe going to church and right. Faith without works is dead. So if you're not going to do anything, your faith is never going to grow. But the moment that you start to take action, your faith starts to grow, and eventually your faith starts to turn into belief. And that's what happened for me. And so it all comes back to, you just have to replace that fear with faith. So hopefully that kind of tackled that, you know, number one. Let's get into number two, which is the approach. So we've talked about fear. We've talked about wasting, you know, is this going to waste time? We've talked about, you know, what's the difference of this device? So let's talk a little bit about the approach for just a moment. So first of all, number one, you need to understand what your role is. You need to know your role. This is so crucial, and this is where most people get it wrong in network marketing. My role is I don't sell helos. Like I don't call my friends and try to get them to buy helos from me. I don't you know, have candle like you know how you have candle parties if you sell candle. I don't have like helo parties and invite people to my house and stack my helos up real nice and try to sell helos. That's not what I do. I don't try to convince or pressure my friends to join my business. That's not what I do either. And I think that those are some of the preconceived notions that people have. In fact, when people hear the term MLM, here's what most people think. Oh my gosh, I don't want to sell toothpaste and deodorant and shampoo to my friends. I don't want to invite my friends over to my house on Wednesday night and have a shake party and try to invite them over here to buy products from me. That's not what we do, and that's not what I do. So let's talk about what I do. So first of all, my job is to notify people of what I'm up to. So I notify them of what I'm up to. For those that want more information, I educate them. And there's a process of education. And ultimately, I help them to make a well-informed decision. That's it. That's what I do. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. My job is basically just to collect decisions. But here's the problem. The problem is that most people are skeptics, okay? You're a skeptic. I'm a skeptic. I'll prove it to you. Somebody came to your door right now, and they were standing outside, and they had a clipboard in their hand, and you didn't recognize them. You look out the window, and you probably go, what's this person trying to sell me, right? From the time that we wake up in the morning till the time that we go to bed at night, I want you to think about this. We are pitched all the time. So people are trying to sell you stuff all the time. So I'll give you an example. So you wake up in the morning, you get in your car, what do you hear? Radio advertisements. You look up, what do you see? Billboards. You get in front of your computer, what do you see? Your email is full of people trying to sell you things. And so because of that, we've learned to put up this wall on a subconscious level. We've also learned just over time that, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? Or, we've learned to kind of close our mind to opportunities. And the problem is that a closed mind never accomplished anything great in life. A closed mind is not going to take you to your goals and dreams. And so because of that, we have to understand that most people are going to be skeptical. And as William mentioned, if they even feel like in the beginning, your approach, it gives them that feeling that this is MLM. And by the way, we're not here to hide that it's MLM, but there's a process of education that you have to take people through so that they're making a well-informed decision. Because what happens most of the time is people make their decision on their preconceived notions of what they think network marketing is. The problem is what they think network marketing is and what it really is are two totally different things. And so because of this, we have to take people through a process. So let's talk about what that process looks like. So first of all, when I first launched my business, and anybody that truly wants to be successful and really get to a point where they're generating or they're transitioning from an amateur to a professional in this business, what I mean by that is they've transitioned enough where they have enough income that they can literally make a living 100% on the residual income from their network marketing business. You have to work from a list. You have to work from a comprehensive names list. Now, most people struggle putting a list together. Why? Because, again, they're afraid of what people are going to think of them. They don't want people to know that they're doing anything. The challenge with that is look, if I started, if Kelly, I saw you smile earlier when we talked about shoes, when I said my wife in the shoes comment. So let's say Kelly and I wanted to start a shoe store together, and we opened that store in the mall, and it was our grand opening. It was our ribbon cutting ceremony. Kelly, would we be afraid to tell everybody, or would you tell every single person that you know to come and celebrate that with you? You would tell everybody that you know, right? They may not, you're not trying to force them to buy shoes from you, but you want them to think about you the next time that they want to go buy shoes, right? We would celebrate that. But for some reason, because of network marketing, because of this whole preconceived notion or the stigma, we don't want to tell anybody about it. But the truth is you've got to have a comprehensive names list. Now, here's the thing that I will promise you. Number one, you will never have to call these people to try and sell them a helo. So I want you to get that out of your head right now, because you never will have to call someone and have that awkward conversation of, hey, William, listen, do you like wearable devices? Listen, I've got this new product, and hey, look, if you're interested, I'll share a 2-minute video with you, and would you like to buy one from me? You'll never have to have that awkward conversation. That's a promise. Number two, you will never have to call your people up and say, William, listen, you know what, man, I just started this business, and you know what, I really think you should come join me, and you know what, I haven't made any money yet, but listen, William, if you join my business, I'll make a little bit of money, and then you know what, we'll go help you make some money. You'll never have to have that conversation if you do this business properly. Okay, but you do have to have a names list. Why? Because the average person, here's what they do. They join a business like this, and then they go talk to maybe 3 or 4 people. And in most cases, they haven't taken the time yet to learn the skills of how to approach people in this business. Here's the thing that's cool about this business. You only need to learn approximately 7 skills. There's only 7 skills that you need to learn in this business if you want to be a pro. I would, if I had to be a pharmaceutical salesperson, if I had to be a doctor, if I had to be a psychiatrist, if I had to be any of those things, it would require a tremendous amount of skills that I would have to learn. Here, there's only a few skills that you have to learn. That's the good news. So first of all, most people go out and they talk to 3 to 4 people in this business. They haven't quite learned the skills of how to approach them properly, and usually they're met with some type of rejection or skepticism. So now they don't like the way that feels, and so usually at that point they're thinking, ooh, you know what, I was rejected. So another couple of weeks goes by, they don't want to talk to anybody now because they were rejected, and now they're in the business for a month, and they start second-guessing the decision to get into the business. And you know what? Here's what happens. Within 2 or 3 months, they start to avoid it, and now they're out the door. And then you know what happens? They start telling all their friends, I tried network marketing, it doesn't work. That's just not that. No, what didn't work is you. That's what didn't work. Network marketing works if you work the business and you take the time to learn the skills. So here's here's the numbers. The numbers are 1 in 10 if you're bad at this business. If you're bad at this business, they're 1 in 10. I mean, if you go share that 2-minute video with 10 people, you're going to stumble across somebody that wants to get involved in your business. You're going to stumble across somebody that has a friend or a family member that needs this product or wants this device on their wrist. So if the numbers are 1 in 10 and I only go talk to 3 or 4 people and I don't get someone that's interested in my business, here's what it can feel like. William, I've talked to everybody that I know and nobody's interested in my business. But let's evaluate that statement. Did you really talk to everybody that you know, or did you talk to a few people? What do you think, William?
It's going to be a few people. I was just thinking of my names list. I hit team developer on the letter C in my Facebook list.
So for me, when I launched my business, first of all, I didn't prejudge anybody. That's rule number 1 when you put a names list together. You don't prejudge anybody. Why? Because you don't know who needs this business, who will do this business, and who won't do this business. You don't know who will be good and who won't. I've tried so many times to qualify the people that I think will be amazing at this business. And you know what? Sometimes they aren't. But the people that sometimes you would never expect that would be interested in getting involved, they're here. We have doctors that are on this call tonight. We have, CEOs of major corporations, of hospitals that literally have thousands of employees that are involved in Helo. We have, politicians. Well, that doesn't say much. We have all kinds of people that are involved. I shouldn't have said that. We have all kinds of people that are involved in this business. So you just never, you never know who is going to get involved. At the end of the day, sometimes perception is not reality. And what I mean by that is you might have somebody who looks like they're super successful and they've got it going on, and you think, oh, they would never be interested in network marketing. But the reality is behind the scenes, they're struggling to keep it all together. So you just never know when somebody is at that place in their life. We're looking for people that are basically, I always tell people we're looking for people that are at high noon. What is high noon? High noon is where somebody has got to the point where they say, you know what I'm doing is not going to get me to where I want to go. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want more out of life. I realize that I don't have enough money to be able to allow me to live the quality of life that I want to live for retirement. I have several children, in my case, 6, that are going to be going to college, and I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it. Every year now, it seems like somebody else needs a new car. Every time I turn around, and what I'm doing right now is not allowing me to be able to live the quality of life that I want to live. And so because of that, they're looking, they're open. And I would ask this question, and some of you might say yes, some of you might say no, but I ask this question, and I will tell you 90% of the people have answered no to this question, maybe 95. If I said, did you make all the money that you wanted to make in 2017? What would that answer be?
No.
Most people say no. And so then the question is, are you open to making more money in 2018? Yes. You just have to establish whether somebody's open or not. You just have to establish whether people are open or not. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So the first thing is you never prejudge anybody. You got to know that, when you're putting this list together, you need a comprehensive names list. So what did I do? I looked at my phone and I wrote all those names down. Then I went on social media and I wrote the names down of all the people that are in my social media network that I communicate with or, had some type of connection with over the last year. And then I went into my email database. And by the time that I did that, I had a comprehensive names list. And that names list is always, guys, I've always got it in front of me. I'm always building names lists. I've got new names lists that I'm constantly putting new names on, and I'm constantly revising my names list. And my objective is very simple. My objective, and this is where you have to know your role, once I built my comprehensive names list, and I had several hundred people on that list, eventually it grew to well over 500. Do you guys realize that the average person knows 2,000 people? The average person, according to studies, knows 2,000 people. All you need to start with is a list with 100 people. Friends, family members, colleagues, and if you don't know how to put that list together, we have memory joggers that will help you do that. But here's what you do. So now that we've kind of talked about the foundation, let's talk about the action steps. So now you've got a names list. Okay, so for me, my objective was to launch my business. And I'm going to really talk about launching your business. Okay, there is a difference between enrolling in this business and launching your business. Amateurs enroll in a business. Professionals launch their business. Just the same as if Kelly and I were to launch that business, that shoe store, we would launch that business. So think about it from this perspective. If an airplane goes down the runway and they're going down the runway at 20 miles an hour, are they going to get off the ground? No. If they go down the runway at 50 miles an hour, what's going to happen? They're going to get to the end runway a little bit faster. If they go 100 miles an hour, They're still not getting off of the ground. They're probably going to just go hit the Taco Bell on the other side of the wall. They have to give it everything that they've got, full throttle, to get off of the ground. And then when they're in the air, now they can pull back a little bit. They burn most of the fuel during the takeoffs. So it's the same thing. You've got to launch your business. And so when I launched, I said to Summer, I said, listen, Summer, we set a goal that was huge. It was a huge goal. And I don't want you to necessarily set your goals the same as my goals. I've been in this business for a while, and I had high expectations in this business, but I want you to understand the philosophy. So I told Summer, I said, listen, I am going to go sponsor 50 people in 50 days and 100 people in 100 days. That was my first, before I even came up with the plan, I set the goal of what I was going to do. Now, why was I going to do that? Because I knew that if I could do this in the first 2 months, I would create so much momentum, inertia, excitement in my business that everybody would be coming from around to everybody that I knew would be coming going, what is going on over there? And I knew that if I did that, it would create enough momentum in my business that it would carry me from that point forward. And now all I had to do is continue to stoke the fire. So for me, it was all about launching my business. Now for you, it might be 10 people in 30 days. It might be 5 people in 30 days. It might be 20 people in 30 days. It really comes back to what your expectations are and what your goals are. If you came to me and said, Travis, I have to make 10 grand this month, I could show you a plan to do it. I could literally show you a foolproof plan that you could do it, but you would have to execute the playbook. So if somebody wants to go make 10 grand this month, you can't go do it sponsoring 5 people. You're probably going to have to go sponsor minimum 30 people within your first 30 days if you wanted to go make 10 grand. I know lots of people that have done it. So how do we do it? Very simple. We have a funnel, okay, that we put everybody through. This process does not change. Most people try and do it their way, and then they come back and say, okay, I tried it my way and it's not working. And then they start to trust the process, okay? I want you to write these words down. The process builds the value. The process and the system is what builds the value, and dollars always follow value. Dollars always follow value. I laugh sometimes. People will say to me, well, in my town, everybody's broke. Everybody that I know is broke. In my town, I've been in towns literally where 80% of the entire employment relied on the gas industry. And when the gas industry went down, they were all unemployed. But here's what I know. If you can provide hope for someone, if you can truly show them that they can change, that you can help them go from where they are to where it is they want to go, if you can build that kind of value, people will figure it out. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a 18-year-old college. I've had 21-year-olds that said, all my friends have no money. It doesn't matter. You just have to learn how to build value. We have an 18-year-old in our business who lives in Vietnam who makes $60,000 to $70,000 per month, and she is the first presidential millionaire, and she goes to school half of the day. And then after she gets out of school, she goes out and literally just talks to random strangers and businesses and people all over the place. And because she wants it so bad. The first time I met her, she was only a president, which by the way makes 10 grand a week as a president. And she says, Travis, I will be the first grand president millionaire in this company. The next time I saw her 6 months later, she was the first grand president millionaire in this company. When I met her, she was 17. And when I met her, when she hit Grand President Millionaire, she did it when she just turned 18 years old in a country where the average income is $40 per week. So how does she do it? She builds enough value that she shows people how they can they transform where they are and identifies where they're unhappy in their life and shows them how they can she can help them get what they want. And because of that, in Vietnam, they pull their money together as a family and support one person. A lot of times they all live together. Then they pulled their money together and they get one person in the family enrolled into the business, and they all go out and build the business. And that's what she does. So, I share that with you guys. So let's talk a little bit about the funnel. So once I had the names list, I needed to come up with the playbook. Here's what the playbook looks like. So I knew my role. My role is not to try and get people to try and convince people to buy my product or join my business. Those are outcomes. Those are results that I would like to see happen as a result of the process that I take someone through. So the first thing that we do always is we introduce people to the 2-minute video. Why? People are more willing to agree to do something small before they agree to do something much bigger. Okay, it's a psychological issue. If I call William up tomorrow and I start talking about I've got this new business opportunity and we're going to go make a ton of money, and you know what, I'm building a team, or any of the things that William was talking about, instantly in their mind, here's what happens. Oh, must be MLM. Don't want to sell soap and deodorant to my friends and family. No thanks, not interested. Okay, so I know that people are more willing to agree to do something small before they agree to do something much bigger. So my objective was to get the people on my names list to watch that 2-minute video. I did it 3 different ways. The first way that I did it was in person. Okay? So in person, when I was talking to people, if I came across friends, family members, people that, you know, I come in contact with on a regular basis, I used 2 approaches. Okay? I used a direct approach and I used an indirect approach. Okay? So here's the direct approach. Hey, William, listen, I've got something that I'm working on that I'm super excited about. Love to get your opinion on it. If I share a 2-minute video with you, would you be willing to watch it and just give me a minute or 2 of your time to answer a couple of questions?
Absolutely.
Okay? There's 4 words that I use, and you're going to hear me use them throughout the remainder of this training. And those words are, if I, would you. If I, would you. Let me explain how this works. So he's in here. So here's how it works. So if I came up to anybody, any one of you right now, and I walked up and I said, I started to hand you this iPhone 10. If I went to hand you the phone and put it out in front of you, your natural instinct would be to reach out and grab this phone. Okay? That would be your natural instinct, right, Kelvin? That's what you would do. You'd reach your hands out to take it out of my hands. Now, what if I said, listen, Kelvin, if I were to give you this iPhone 10, would you be willing to try it out over the course of the next week and just give me your honest feedback? You see, what I'm doing is I'm saying I'm not going to give this to you unless you agree to do something in return. This conveys value in what I'm offering, okay? I never send an unsolicited link. Never, ever, ever send somebody an unsolicited link. That's one of the things that gives network marketing a bad rap, okay? So what do I mean by that? I get excited. I go sit down in front of the computer. I type a heartfelt message out about how my life is going to be different in 2018, and I've got this amazing opportunity, and I'm sharing it with all of my friends, and I want you to, you know, call me as soon as possible, watch this 2-minute video and call me, and boom, I send a mass email out to every single person on my contact list. That's called spam, guys. No one responds to spam. Well, you know, when was the last time that, you know, Stacy, you were in your inbox and your email, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go into my spam folder and just start reading all the email in here. Right? Nobody does that. So you have to get permission first. That's what professionals do, and that's the difference between amateurs and professionals. So the first thing that I do is I always get permission. That's where if I, would you comes in. It builds value. It conveys value. It creates curiosity, and I'm asking for permission. So a direct approach. Listen, I'm super excited about a new project that I'm working on. I need to get the opinion of a couple of people that I respect. If I sent you a 2-minute video, would you be willing to watch it and just let me know what you think? Okay? That's a direct approach. Got something, William. I've got something that you need to see. Listen, if I send you a 2-minute video, would you be willing to watch it? Let me know what you think?
Yep.
Pretty direct, right? Now, direct approaches typically are going to work for people that, especially that are in your warm market or your hot market. Why? Because they know you. I said to my brother, listen, I have a video, or no, I said, I've got something that you need to see. We need to talk as soon as possible. If I send you a 2-minute video, will you watch it? He's like, yeah, exclamation point. I says, great. Before I even sent it, you know what I said? When do you think you can watch it? He says, I'll watch it right away. I said, cool. So if I called you tonight, will you have had a chance to watch it? This is a text message. Before I even sent it to him, I had this whole conversation. He says, yeah. I says, cool. What time tonight should I call you? He says, 8 o'clock. I said, great. Boom. Here's the 2-minute video. I already knew when I was following up with him before. And guess what I did? By doing that, what happened to the value of what I was offering? It started getting in the curiosity. He's like, man, what is this, right? So that's how you convey value. So direct approach, got something you need to see. If I send you a 2-minute video, will you watch it? Okay? One size does not fit all. Every relationship that you have to approach them individually. You can't send a mass text, can't send a mass email, doesn't work. You have to evaluate how you know that person, and you have to approach them accordingly. So, you know, an indirect approach. Here's an indirect approach. So I might just say, hey, William, listen, let me ask you a question. Who do you know right now that is looking to generate an extra, maybe $5,000 a month, working part-time from home? Do you know anybody that's looking to make some extra income right now?
Everybody. Yeah.
So here's the thing. William is going to say, well, yeah, what is it? What do you got? And what's interesting is what's behind his question is actually sincere interest. He's not going to tell me that yet, but he's now giving me permission. So I'm not coming right at him. I'm just saying, hey, listen, who do you know right now that is looking to create some extra income this year? Who do you know that would like to generate an extra income without compromising what they're currently working on, using the internet to be able to generate, or using social media to be able to make money? Who do you know that would like to make money online? It's a who do you know type of question, right? So those are indirect. And then when he says, well, I don't know, what is it? I say, well, listen, if I sent you a 2-minute video, would you take a look at it and let me know what you think? So the difference is just, it's who do you know, right? That's indirect. So number 2, texting is very, very effective. Texting, you can cover a lot of ground very quickly. And in many cases, if you call people, you might take weeks to get some of these people on the phone, right? People call me, it's hard for me to answer my phone because I'm always doing presentations. So, it's hard for me to even, I text a lot. It's easier for me. So I texted people, and here's what I'd say. Let me see here. So let's go to Chris. I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
All right.
So Chris, we're friends. We've known each other for a long time. And let's say that, you get this text from me, okay? So let's say we've known each other for 10 years. We've been good friends. And I text you, say, hey, Chris, hope 2018 is treating you well. Hey, listen, text me back when you get a minute. I need a favor. I was hoping you could help. What's your response going to be?
Man, I'm going to help you out.
But what would your exact response be to that text?
What do you need help with?
Yeah. What's up? What can I do to help, right? Sure. What's up? Why? Because we're friends. And we all have this innate desire to want to be a part of helping other people. It makes us feel good. So here's what I'm going to respond. Hey, Chris, listen, just got involved with a new just got involved with a new project I'm super excited about. I need a couple of people that I trust and respect. I need a couple of people that I trust and respect to take a look at it. If I sent you over a 2-minute video, would you watch it? Let me know what you think.
Sure. Yeah, you bet.
I mean, would you think anything more of that if you got that? Nope. So if I could respond, so when do you think you might be able to watch it? What would you say?
Today probably in the next hour or
cool.
so.
Okay. Yeah. So if I called you tomorrow morning, would that give you enough time to watch it?
Yeah, I'll be in church tomorrow morning, but maybe tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. So how about if I called you Monday morning, would that give you enough time to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What's on Monday mornings good for you?
Let's 10:30 would be pretty good time.
Perfect. All right. Here's the video. I'll talk to you at 10:30 on Monday morning.
Okay. Thanks.
So that's one, and I did that all texting. So all I did is I basically just says, hey, need a favor. Hey, William, need a favor. Was hoping you could help. Text me back when you get a minute. Why do I say text me back when you get a minute? Because first of all, when they text me back, I know they're there now. Now they're not going to ignore me. They're not going to be like, he already said, yeah, what's up? Now when I text him, he's not going to just ignore me. So I need a favor. I was hoping you could help. Text me back when you get a minute, William. Sure, what's up? What can I do to help, Trav? Oh, I just need a couple of people that I trust and respect. I need their eyes on a project that I'm working on. If I sent you a 2-minute video, would you take a look at it? Just let me know what you think.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. When do you think you might be able to check it out?
I'll watch it right now before my wife gets home.
Cool. And so if I called you tonight or in the morning, will you have had a chance to watch it?
Yeah, call me tonight.
Okay, great. What time tonight's best for you?
9:30.
Okay, great. Boom. So all I'm doing, guys, and this takes texting. You can do this so fast. Like you can put 20 people in process in 20 minutes. If you really literally sit down and take the time to organize your list, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to put all these people in process. So that's how I did it with texting. And then the last way is Facebook Messenger, which is a golden tool. Facebook Messenger is the way that you can reconnect with people maybe you haven't talked to in a while. I'm always in Facebook Messenger. I'm always in news feeds. I'm always purposely showing interest in other people, giving them compliments, being an encourager, always looking for opportunities to just connect and comment. And I don't just I like, and then I'll leave an encouraging word on there. Why? Because when you show interest in other people, what's the universal law? That they are interested in you. It never fails. If I go to someone's Facebook page, like something, write a comment on their wall, they always reciprocate and come back and do it on my wall. It's a universal law. So I start showing interest, and eventually I just pop up on Facebook Messenger. Hey, William, it's been a long time, man. What's new and exciting in your world? What are you excited about in 2018? What are you working on?
Well, I just started up with a wearable technology company.
Oh, wait. You too? Man, somebody already got to you. No, but most cases he says, yeah, man, I'm just working. Kids are good. Life's good. Everything's great. And just say, okay, cool. Well, what are you working on these days? How long have you been doing that? Do you enjoy what you do? Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Or do you keep your options open? Yeah? Okay, cool. Well, listen, if I sent you a 2-minute video, would you be willing to take a look at it? Just let me know what you think. Facebook Messenger's gold. Like I'm always use Facebook Messenger. So these 3 ways, I use these 3 tools to get as many people as I could in front of my names list. Now, here's what happened to me. I put about 50 to 60 people on process in the first 2 days, okay? I was overwhelmed at that point. I'll be honest, I was super overwhelmed because now I had 50 to 60 people to follow up with, and I'm going to show you how you follow up in 2 minutes or less. But I had 50 to 60 people to follow up with. I had people, literally, I got so busy that I forgot to follow up with them that 5 days later were going, dude, you sent me this 2-minute video. I'm looking forward to talking to you about this. You haven't gotten back to me on it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I got super busy. So here's what happens. So now that they're in front of the 2-minute video, here's the next step. We move them to the 30-minute presentation. Okay, here's how I do that. Now, this works best in person whenever possible. Okay, I have done it over Messenger before, but it loses some of the effectiveness if they can't hear your voice. So here's what I do. So first of all, to get them from a 2-minute video to a 30-minute presentation is so easy. First of all, number 1, I always let them know right up front, I'm in a hurry. I don't have a lot of time. Why? Because I'm not here to chit chat. I'm busy. I've got a ton of people to call. I'm launching my business, and I don't want to get stuck answering questions, because if they start firing questions and I answer a few questions, they're going to form an opinion, but that opinion is not going to be based on the facts. So what I do is, here's what I do. William, dude, I'm glad that I caught you. 10 o'clock, right? William told me to call him at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock or whenever it was. William, I'm glad that I caught you. I've only got a quick second. Hey, did you watch that 2-minute video?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. What did you like best about the Hilo?
Always the SOS feature.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. Hey, William, let me ask you another question. You making more money than you can spend right now?
No, I am not.
I'm not either. But hey, let me ask you a question. You open to making more money right now?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Here's why I ask. That Hilo that I sent you, I believe that there's a window of opportunity here to go make some serious money with it. Now, listen, I would love to send you a 30-minute presentation that explains in greater detail exactly what I'm working on right now. Now, look, it doesn't matter to me if you choose to get involved or not, William, but it does matter to me that you take a look, because you're my friend. And the last thing that I want is for you to come back a year from now and say, why didn't you tell me about this? So listen, if I send you that 30-minute presentation, will you watch it? Let me know what you think.
Yes.
Okay, boom. Hold on. He said yes. I want you guys to know something. There's a 20% chance he's going to do it. Okay? So let's take it up to 40. Hey, William, when do you think you might be able to watch it?
I could get it done tonight.
Okay, cool. So if I called you tomorrow, you'll have had a chance to watch it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Just said yes again. Boom, went up to 40%. All right, cool. What time should I call you tomorrow?
Let's do 11 a.m.
Okay, 11 a.m. Great. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Got to run. Things are super hopping right now. Can't wait to talk to you about it. I'll call you at 11 o'clock tomorrow. When he gave me that 11 a.m., just so you guys know, it went up to 80% chance he'll watch it. And I don't have to chase him now because he already gave me a time to follow up. What I'm sharing with you are the little tiny things that are the big things in this business. It's the little things that make the big difference in network marketing. It's all these these little things. So all I did is I just said, hey, listen, hey, William, in a hurry. I'm glad that I caught you. I've only got a quick minute. Hey, listen, did you watch it? Yes. What did you like best? Blood pressure. Man, I couldn't agree with you more. Now, I kind of did it kind of jokingly because of my relationship with William. I said, hey, man, you making more money than you can spend? Now, you might not be comfortable saying that to someone, so here's another approach. William, did you watch it? Yes. Hey, listen, what did you like last? Blood pressure. Man, I couldn't agree with you more. Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Are you open to making more money in 2018?
Yes.
Just very direct approach. Hey, William, are you open right now to looking at new opportunities?
Yeah.
If he says no, I say, okay, cool. Maybe I'll, do you mind if I come back and tap you on the shoulder in a month or two if this thing takes off the way that I think it's going to?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say yes to that too.
But if he said he was open, he's given me permission to invite him. So now it's just, if I would you, he says yes. I say, great. When do you think you might be able to watch it? He says tonight. Say, cool. If I called you tomorrow, you'll have a chance to watch it. Yeah. What time tomorrow? Boom. Put it on my calendar. Got to go. See you later, William. Bye-bye.
Perfect.
Now, look at my funnel. It's getting smaller. What does that mean? Some people watch the 2-minute video and they've already removed themselves from the funnel. That's cool. They said, Travis, I watched it. I'm not even interested in watching the 30-minute presentation. Cool. Thanks so much for saving my time because I want to be talking to people that I need to be talking to. So now you've removed yourself from the funnel. So guess what? Now they watch the 30-minute presentation. I follow up with William. You know what I say? William, people, did you watch that 30-minute presentation, William?
I did.
Hey, cool. Listen. Hey, look, the people that I'm talking to right now typically fall into one of three categories. One, they definitely want one of these on their wrist. They want to be a customer. They definitely want their own life-saving device, okay? 2 are the people that want to go make some serious money with us. And 3, they're not interested, but maybe they know somebody who is. So question for you, how do you see yourself fitting into the equation? You 1, 2, or 3?
The money one, 2, right?
Now, he might say, well, I've got some questions, not really sure. Cool, well, let's explore your questions a little bit. Hey, those are some good questions, William. Let me do something. I want to introduce you to somebody. His name's Chris Cohen. He's got an amazing story. And you know what? He got involved in this business, and it's just taken off. And you know what? He's been in this a little bit longer than I have. He's an expert. And you know what? The guy's super busy. But I told him a little bit about you. And he actually said he wanted to say hello and just share a little bit of a story with you. If I can get 15 minutes of his time. Here comes if I would you again. If I can get 15 minutes of his time this afternoon, would you be willing to just say hello? Cool.
Yeah.
Let me text him, and then I'll text you back and see what time he's available. So boom, what happens? Chris gets on the phone. Hey, William, good to meet you, man. Hey, listen, I see you're taking a look at our opportunity. Listen, most people we talk to either see themselves as a customer or as a business builder. Where do you see yourself fitting into the equation? You don't know? You got some questions about the comp plan? Well, let's explore those. And his job is to help answer those questions so that we can do what? Collect a decision. And you know what? They're going to let you know whether they want to be a customer or a business builder. The approach doesn't really change. So now they give you a decision. And that decision is now based on all of the facts. It's not based on their preconceived notions of network marketing. And I'm going to bring this all together because this is a little bit longer training than I normally do, but I wanted to really give you guys some value tonight. Here's how I'm going to bring it all together. I want you to think about, every one of you, ask yourself this question. Could I do this? Could I be successful in this environment? Well, let's ask you. Here, I want you to answer yes or no to these questions. Okay? Number 1, can you put together a comprehensive names list? If you know you're not going to have to call these people up and directly try to sell them a Hilo or recruit them to your business. Okay? That's question number 1. If you answered yes to that question, here's question number 2. Could you invite them using the simple if I would you script to watch a 2-minute video? Do you think you can do that? Great. Now here's the third question. For those that want more information, that say that they're open, could you invite them to watch a pre-recorded 30-minute presentation? And if the answer is yes to that question, congratulations. Number 4, could you, for those that have questions, could you introduce them to someone with questions answered? Guys, if you answered yes to these 4 questions, congratulations, you can build $1 million business here because I've done it this year doing exactly this. Not one home party. I don't leave my home. I'm talking to you in sweatpants right now. I do this on Zoom, and we built a business that within 6 months hit a level that was paying us $30,000 per week. So I don't remember who asked that question earlier. Is it worth it, or who's it going to waste my time? My question to you is, if you knew that you could go make $1 million in the next 12 months doing what I just shared with you, would that be worth it to you? Now, what if it took you 4 years, 2 years? What if it took you 3 years? What if it took you 4 years before you got to $1 million a year? Would it be worth it then? If you knew in 4 years that it was going to take you some time and that you were going to go through a learning curve, and that even though you've heard this, you're not going to retain all of it initially, and you're going to kind of fumble up a little bit and make some mistakes, and then you're going to think, oh, I could have done this a little better, but I'm going to stick with it, exercise a little faith, take action, plug into the calls, attend the events where you can get some success. But if you knew that in 4 years you could get to a point where you developed $1 million asset that sets you free, would it be worth it? I know people that will literally go to 4 years of school, 8 years of school, 12 years of school, and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars so that they can get out and do what? Get a job where they're going to go work for the next 40 years and try and save as much money as they can so that one day they'll retire. The reason why they call this the 4-year career is because if anybody, I don't care who you are, if you get into this business and you apply yourself to learning the skills, and tonight we talked more about the skills of how to contact and approach, and we got into a little bit of following up, and then the only other skills are things like promoting events, which are very important. I'd have to get into some of the other ones, and I don't want to go too far into the training tonight. So that takes care of the approach. That takes care of the words. The final thing is maximizing commission, and I can do this in 3 minutes. Bottom line is, this is your strategy right here. You have to get to team builder. Team builder is you get to. How do you do that? Well, in the next 48 hours, if you were to go contact 24 people, 12 of your friends and family, and 12 influencers, you would get your 2. If you did that today and tomorrow, by next week, you'd have your first 2, okay? So you go get your 2, and then you teach those 2 to do the exact same thing. You've now hit team developer. For those of you that are new, if you do this in the first 7 days you get started, you get about an $800 bonus on top of the first order bonus commissions and the team commissions. You'll make about $1,500 in your first week. And once you've become a team developer, your job is to become a team developer factory. And everybody that comes into your business, your job is to lock arms with them, make sure they know how to put a list together, how to go out and get their first 2, and teach their people how to go get their 2. And we just duplicate that process over and over and over again. So if you're not here yet, your first objective is to go get your first 2. That's your number 1 priority. Once you get those 2, we want to teach them how to go get their 2. You've hit team developer, and now you have now started to create a story. You've started to build some money. You've started to build belief. You started to build confidence. Your competence is going up. And now we just start to teach that and duplicate that in your organization. And your organization goes from 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 people. And all of a sudden you have business in 20 countries around the world. And you're like William, who's now launching business in India and launching business in Ireland and launching business all over the world. And you know what that does for him? It gives him a business that pays him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because when he goes to bed at night, he has people waking up in India and they're going out and putting that helo on and they're going out and sharing that 2-minute video. To me, that's true freedom right there, when you can get to that level. So that's where I'm going to finish up for the evening. I have a couple more chats. I believe in this product as a concept. Personal stipulation for me is my personal experience. As well as payment guarantee, the concept is really appealing, but I can't truly believe in the physical product until I try it and like it. Yeah, that's okay. Some people want to try the product. I get it. There's 2 different schools of thought there. Some people need to get it and try it. Totally cool. No problem with that. For me, I was one of those people that was like, when I first came in, we were soft launching and the product literally was 12 weeks out. And I just put a lot of faith in the fact that there's over 1 million people that already bought it. Toshiba was involved. They're a 100-year-old, $55 billion company. If it was good enough for their engineers, who are the top engineers in the world, who spent 90 days researching the accuracy and the efficacy and the efficiency of this product, I was comfortable enough based on that to go out and start sharing it and sharing that 2-minute video with others. Some people want to get it on their wrist. William was one of those guys that wanted to wait till he got it on his wrist, and that's fine. So you just have to make a decision where you see yourself falling into the equation.
I have one last thing. If Travis, if you don't mind, how do I convince Chris Cohen to come with me to Los Angeles?
Leaders are born at events, guys. I would tell you that at a certain point, if you want to make the transition from part-time to full-time and get to a full-time income, the events are where it's at. The only time I've ever missed an event is if I was sick or I had something, like a marriage or something going on. For me, the events are where you build your belief, right? It's like going to church. You go to the events, you're going to see firsthand people that made $15 million this year doing what I just showed you, $12 million, $9 million, $6 million, $3 million, $1 million. You're going to see people that have never done network marketing that made over $375,000. You're going to see new people that made 40 grand in their first 3 months. You're going to see literally, you're going to learn all of the skills and the tools. And so when you go to an event, what happens to your belief is it just goes up. So for me, it's kind of like buying a franchise and saying, I'm just going to skip the franchise meetings where they teach you everything. So to me, it just depends on how truly committed you are to the business. And if you want to get to a full-time income, I can just tell you that major decisions are made at events. The events that I've always gone to, that's when I make the decision that I'm going to take my business to the next level, and I learn the skills to be able to do it. So, at a certain point, if you want to get to full-time income, you'll need to start to understand that this business is built from event to event to event to event, and getting your butts in those seats is where it's just where leaders are born. So, I would challenge those of you that have the means to get to LA, definitely get yourself there. It'll be worth it. I mean, it's like you're having an opportunity to be mentored by some of the top earners, the top 10 income earners in the world of network marketing that have earned collectively over $100 million are going to teach you how to be successful. I mean, it's definitely worth it if you want to take your business to the next level.
Thank you, Travis. I'll say when I missed that first function, I can tell you that it really set me back. It's funny because, in my 13, 14 years of experience in the industry, there was always one thing that the top income earners all had in common. And one of them was obviously they would never miss a function. But the other one was that, they were always, communicating, to their group on a daily basis, every day. But that was big for me. And it was so hard for me to, this event wasn't nearly as difficult, but that other one was tough because of the brand new baby being born right in that time. So I know how valuable this is. And, also when your team sees you in LA, they're watching you on Facebook, guys. Like, I promise you they are, because 3 guys I hit up today said, how's it going? I said, how are you doing? Is this still your number? Yeah, it is. And they said, hey man, they said, I see you're on Facebook all the time and things are just lighting up for you. What have you been doing? Like, what's going on? Now when they see me in Los Angeles, and they're going to see me with some folks that are pulling in some good money, I'll tell you right there, they're going to know that's when I'm all in. And so, that also helps growth tremendously. Just being there helps your growth. I know that sounds weird, but it does. So thanks, Travis, for taking this time out. This was huge, by the way. Kelly Pike and I were texting, and she's like, oh, I had to see this presentation 3 times before I understood that you go from 20% lock-in ratio to 40% to 80% by following exact script. And it was so funny. Chris Cohen got it immediately. It was weird. Like, Chris listened to your thing, but it took me 3. It took Kelly 2. It took Chris 1, So
it takes a few times of hearing it. It took me a while. I'll be honest with you. It took me a while to get it. But, just sticking with it. And all I can say is it's worth it. So appreciate everybody. Go have a fun, go enjoy your Saturday evenings. And hopefully I've inspired a couple of you guys to maybe put a new list together and start taking some action and sharing, start inviting people to that 2-minute video. You'll be surprised how quickly it starts to happen if you do that. I mean, if you truly commit to going to put 24 people in 48 hours in front of that video, and then you keep going from there, you'll be very quick. You'll be surprised at how quickly you've got people that are wanting to talk now about getting into the business, and we'll go from there. So I did record this, by the way, William. I only missed the first 5 minutes, but the rest of it was recorded. So we'll get it loaded and get it to you so that it'll be available. This is probably the most comprehensive training I've done in a long time. I got into a lot more depth. And so we'll make this available if anybody wants to share it with any of their team members.
Thank you, Travis. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.